Good evening. Hello. Welcome to the Virtual College Fair breakout session. This breakout session is a financial aid overview and specific information about the DREAM Act application. Let's just wait a few more minutes to see if anybody else joins us. In the meantime, for those of you who are here, just know that this presentation will be recorded and will be posted on our website. Our website's on the screen. And then if you do want to ask specific questions, use the chat button. Your camera and microphone are off. We cannot see you. We cannot hear you. So the only way that you can communicate with us is through the chat. So please do so. Ask those questions there. Let's just wait another minute to see who else joins us. Okay, we're just going to wait one more minute and then we'll get started. Okay, I think we can get started. We want to honor your time, and also we want to make sure that you receive all the information and we don't go over time. So today you're going to be learning about financial aid and about the California DREAM Act. I am a college and career counselor with Capistrano Unified School District. So if there are any CUSD students here, I am one of your counselors. With me, I have Violetta. She is from Saddleback Financial Aid Office. So she is a wealth of knowledge, and I am so grateful that she is here to share what she knows about financial aid. So with that being said, I'm gonna let her get started and share her knowledge. Thank you all.
Hello, my name is Violetta, and like she said, I am a financial aid specialist at Saddleback College, and I'm here to talk to you about financial aid. All right, I'm going to turn off my video for now, and then after the presentation, when we have some questions, I will go ahead and turn it back on. So financial aid, scholarships, and financial literacy. Why apply? You never know what you're going to qualify for until you apply. So we always suggest, do the DREAM Act. We're going to be talking about the DREAM Act. So there may be some slides that I'm going to skip. The DREAM Act is an application. It's a universal application where you can qualify for everything that you are able to get through the state aid. And you can apply for financial aid even after the semester starts. There's a lot of students that are applying right now. The only thing that might mess up is that you might get your disbursement later. For DREAM Act, of course, you have to watch the deadlines. We will talk about that a little later. It doesn't take too long, and it is free to apply. We have help available via our office and also the website that you guys saw on the first slide. They're able to help you. So we definitely have the resources there if you run into any trouble. So the DREAM Act, it's an application, and that is the website. It's dream.csac.ca.gov. It is a free application. The reason why I keep mentioning free is because there is many students that unfortunately pay for this kind of service. And a lot of that is scam. They work, you're giving a lot of information. You're giving your address, your phone number, you're giving your taxes, you're giving a lot of personal information. So you have to be careful and make sure you never pay for this. Always make sure that you go to this specific link right there. And that is the only application you need to fill out. The purpose of this is to calculate your financial aid eligibility. And again, it's a universal application, so you can get everything that you qualify for. This on the right-hand side is what the DREAM Act looks like. A couple years ago, last year, it got a little bit of a facelift. So if you have an older brother or sibling, or maybe your parents did the DREAM Act, it does look a little different. So make sure that that's what it looks like when you go on that link. The financial aid and academic requirements, there's two main requirements. So it's the financial requirement, which you get by doing the DREAM Act. So usually that's via the cost of attendance. So how much does the school that you're planning to go to cost? Mine is the EFC number, which is the estimated family contribution, expected or estimated, we call it both ways. And that's the number that you get through the DREAM Act. And that's how we get the remaining student need, which is sponsored and funded through the various financial aid programs that you get. Then the academic requirements, you need to keep up a 2.0 GPA and complete 67% of all attempted units. Be careful when you come into college, just make sure that you pass all your classes. If you're having trouble or issues with a class, make sure you watch out for those freeze dates. You'll learn about those from counselors. We have great counselors on campus. Right now, it's all virtual, so you're going to be able to go into a virtual waiting room and talk face-to-face to someone who can help you. And like I said, if you're having any issues, go ahead and let them know, and make sure you drop the classes before it affects your GPA. That way you don't lose out on any aid. Eligibility criteria, so you need to have the financial need, which is through the EFC. Educational requirements, you have to have a high school diploma, GED or equivalent. You have to be enrolled as a student and working towards a degree. So you can, that doesn't mean that you have to have the degree chosen. A lot of students, for example, are doing general education, and then maybe halfway through they take a class, and that's when they decide what their major is or what they're interested in. So you can definitely be doing general education, but you have to make sure that you're working towards a degree. So it can be a certificate or, transfer to a four-year college. You have to maintain the satisfactory academic progress standards. So that 2.0 GPA and the 67% of passing rate. You have to be an eligible non-citizen or a U.S. citizen, but this is only for federal aid, so this does not affect you. You have to be a California resident or eligible under AB 540. This is what pertains to the DREAM Act. All males, you have to register for selective service, whether between the ages of 18 to 25. A common question that we get is, if you haven't turned 18 yet, how do I go ahead and register? There is a button on the DREAM Act that says register me once I turn 18. So you can either choose to go ahead and click on that by yourself, or once you turn 18, you can go ahead and do it manually. So either works. However, once you turn 18, if you didn't do it through the DREAM Act, we will ask for verification. So federal aid, this is the aid that unfortunately as a dreamer you don't qualify for, so I will just kind of skip over this part. Again, loans, you don't qualify for those. Cal Grants, so this is very important for dreamers. You have to, in order to be eligible for Cal Grant, you have to apply by March 2nd of 2021. So the DREAM Act that you guys will be doing is the 2021-2022 DREAM Act. The way that works is it's fall 21 until summer 22. So it's kind of an academic year. The DREAM Act that's available right now is the 2021. So it gets very confusing because there is always that year that overlaps. So it's important to know that you're doing the correct DREAM Act because, like I said, the 2021 will still be available when you guys do the 21-22. There's so many twos in here. So again, you have to make sure you do the DREAM Act application before March 2nd of 2021 in order to qualify for it next year. I always tell students, make sure you've done it around the holidays, usually end of February and beginning of March. It gets the websites, both the FAFSA and the DREAM Act, usually are very slow. And sometimes you literally might be at the last step where you're submitting it and you won't be able to. So it's very important that you do this before March 2nd, or hopefully before February. That way you have enough time to submit it and go through it. In order to qualify for the Cal Grant, you must submit a GPA verification form, which is that form on the right-hand side. However, that form is usually submitted by your high school automatically. And then once you go to, if you're going to Saddleback, once you reach 16-degree applicable units, we go ahead and transfer it for you. If you're in the middle between just transfer to our school in the 16-degree units, and you go ahead and finish your first year. In that case, you may have to do it manually, but most of the time, either the high school or the school that you're attending, we go ahead and send the GPA verification form. It is very important to go ahead and just make an account on Web Grants. Once you submit your DREAM Act, you will get an email letting you know to go ahead and make an account on that. And once you do that, you'll be able to keep track of it and say there is something that's needed on your end. You'll be able to see that. Other state aid, we have the Chafee Grant. So that is for eligible foster youth who have been in foster care between their 16th and 18th birthday and haven't reached their 22nd birthday before July 1st, 2020. This is the only grant that you need to do anything extra besides doing the DREAM Act application itself. You have to do the program application. So if you have any questions, we definitely have a lot of information about this on our website, or you can also reach out to us and we'll be able to help you. The California Promise Grant, which is formerly known as the BOG, which is Board of Governors Fee Waiver, this is only for community colleges, and this waives the college fee for each course, which is right now $46 a unit. All you have to do is be a California resident, and you have to make sure you meet certain conditions to qualify. Again, you have to keep up that 2.0 GPA, and the academic progress is a little lower at 50%. However, if you fall below that 67%, you lose the Cal Grant. So we always recommend try to stay above that 67%. That way you have the Promise Grant and the Cal Grant. The Student Success Completion Grant is available for students who have been determined eligible under Cal Grant B or C and who are enrolled in 12 or more units. 12 units is considered full-time. So for those students who are taking a little bit of extra units, the state is able to give us a grant, which we give to you guys. This one is a first come, first served basis. So once it's gone, it's gone. So we always recommend in order to qualify for this, do the DREAM Act earlier. And as soon as we start bringing in the DREAM Acts for the next school year, you have a better chance of receiving that extra grant. So the DREAM Act, if you're eligible under AB 540, you need to do the DREAM Act application. Again, that's the website. And we have more information on our website as well, a couple of brochures and a lot more, helpful information. Despite the recent notification of the Trump administration to eliminate the DACA program, that is not required, and nothing has changed. You're still eligible to go ahead and do the DREAM Act, and DACA status is not required to be eligible for financial aid. Dreamer students may qualify for the California Promise Grant, which is the fee waiver that we talked about, Cal Grant, SSCG, which is that additional grant if you're taking more than 12 units and you qualify for Cal Grant B or C, and state scholarships. We do have DACA renewal scholarships available on that website, and also we are going to go ahead and talk about scholarships after. Dependent versus independent. So this would determine whether you have to put your parents' information in the DREAM Act or not. If you answer no to all of these questions, you have to include your parents' information until you turn the age of 24. If you answer yes to one or more of these questions, then you can go ahead and forgo putting your parents' information because you're considered an independent. Some of this information we might ask for additional documentation. if you're selected. Otherwise, you go ahead and forgo putting your parents' information. This is for the FAFSA, so I'm going to go ahead and skip over this. So what happens after submitting the DREAM Act? Submitting the DREAM Act is never the final step. If you decide to go to Saddleback, we will go ahead and send you an email notification with additional documents that you're required to turn in to saddleback.verifymyfafsa.com. I know that says My FAFSA, however, it's very confusing. It is both for DREAM Act and FAFSA. That's just the website that we were given. And that one is a secure online portal that you don't have to come in our office or mail anything in. You can just upload it via any electronic device on our portal. And that is also a place where you can monitor your file status and submit any additional documents.
Hi, this is Monica. So I also wanted to let you all know, students, that another step, after you submit your California DREAM Act applications, that you create a Webcast for Students account. You'll also receive notification about which Cal grants or JV grant or anything like that you're eligible for through this account. So make sure that you take this step after you submit your California DREAM Act application and create an account. You'll also be able to check for any other requirements that you need to complete to be eligible for California student aid, and then confirm your college of attendance, and then other things that you need to do in order to make sure that you successfully receive the financial aid that you're eligible for.
Okay, so scholarships. So there's different ways to find these scholarships. There's many out there. You can go on the internet, you can go to your major department. So once you come to college, say you decide to be a biology major, go to the biology major department and ask them to see if there are any biology specific scholarships that are available. Sometimes they don't necessarily advertise them, so it's always a good idea to ask. You can ask your advisor, you can find them in books, counselors, and employers. This was an interesting one. So we had a student who used to work at Starbucks. Well, at that time, she was working at Starbucks. She went ahead and asked her employer if they have any scholarships available. And she was able to go all the way to the highest level and get her first year of the 4-year college that she was transferring to paid off fully. So it's very important, just to check. It doesn't hurt if your parents have a job, maybe their job has some scholarships available for dependents. So definitely check out anything like that. Be wary of scholarship scams. So again, this is one thing that you should not be paying for. If they ask you for a monthly subscription or anything like that, never pay that. Scholarships are free and they're meant to give you money, not to take money away from you. Even if they ask for Social Security and you guys do have a Social Security number, don't give them any of that. They don't need that. They don't need your taxes. They don't need any private information except maybe your name, telephone number, address if they're mailing you anything. So make sure that you're very wary of scholarship scams. Unfortunately, there's many out there right now. These are some recommendations that we have. Fastweb.com is a great website. It's not necessarily merit-based. You can go ahead and apply. You just kind of give them a profile of things you like and dislike. One of our coworkers, she actually, when she was going to school, she got a scholarship for having brown eyes. Very random, right? She went ahead and wrote a 500-word essay and she won $500. So that was easy enough. There's many different kinds. There are definitely some that are merit-based, but there's also random ones, just like having brown eyes. So definitely check it out. It's a great website. I think you make a profile and they'll send you different scholarships on a weekly basis or a daily basis, depending on what kind of interest you selected. So definitely check it out. And these are some other websites that we recommend that we have gone through. If you guys find any other ones, definitely check them out, but be careful and make sure that you are not, part of a scam website.
And I did want to highlight one other scholarship recommendation. This one's from Immigrants Rising. So they do have a resource of where you can search for scholarships. These scholarships do not are specifically kind of accumulated or kind of grouped together, because these are scholarships that do not require you to be to have like permanent residency status or be a U.S. citizen. So these are scholarships that do not require proof of that. So make sure that you check out this website as well, as specifically as a student applying through to the California Dream Act, is that you look for additional scholarships through Immigrants Rising. I think that's a great resource for all of you.
Successful financial aid tips. So apply early, ask questions. We have financial aid. We have our financial aid office. We're available right now via our virtual counter, which is on Zoom. And we also are available via email or telephones during our working hours. We have Financial Aid TV, which are helpful videos that are made from both students, faculty, and the website itself. So we have great informational videos that are only for Dream Act, only for people who are undocumented. So definitely check it out. You can just type in a keyword and go ahead and give you videos that might relate to the topic. We have Financial Aid and Dream Act, or FAFSA and Dream Act applicational help. Right now it's a little difficult and we're still trying to figure out how to do the online help, but I also know Monica is going to mention a little later that they are offering help as well. And again, virtual counter. We have a financial aid literacy course, which is on cashcourse.org. That is a great website. It is free. For example, you can, it gives you a lot of worksheets. So, say you do qualify for financial aid, you want to make sure that you make it last for the whole semester. A lot of students, unfortunately, spend it the first semester or the first week they get it, and then they don't have any money left over. So this is a great way to get a worksheet or two and kind of fill out all the paperwork, all the incoming money, and if you have a job, put that on there as well. The way you can keep track of how much money is going in and how much money is going out to make sure that you have enough. We're always there to help you. So as long as we're open, go ahead and give us a call or come to our virtual counter. Important dates. So the FAFSA and the DREAM Act are available from October 1st, 2020 until for the 21-22. And it's available pretty much until the last day of that summer. However, I would recommend in order to get Cal Grant, which is a big portion of your aid as a dreamer, make sure that you complete it before March 2nd of 2021. We have scholarships available. They're going to be available for this November. However, you have to have at least 12 units, college units, in order to qualify for this. And they're always for the next year. So most likely, unless you have taken a lot of college units, or basically a whole semester, you have to wait until next November and you will apply for scholarships for 2022, 2023. They have their scholarships through our foundation office. So there's lots of money that is given from local restaurants, local businesses, maybe past students. So it's a great way to get some money, and it's one application, very easy to do. So keep a lookout on that in your school email. And of course, private scholarships, some of those websites that we mentioned, each scholarships has their own criteria and application deadlines, so make sure you look for those. This is my contact info. That my name is Violetta, and that is my email. Right now, we're kind of busy peak season, so it may take me a good 2 to 3 business days to respond to your email, but I will not forget. I will respond as soon as I can. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Violetta. So students, submit your questions on the chat if you have any. I did have one more question for you, Violetta. So can you talk to us about the difference between merit-based scholarships and need-based scholarships?
So that's a great question. So merit-based scholarships are scholarships that are based on your GPA or a certain academic achievement that you have made. So, you know, there's scholarships out there that if you graduated with a 4.0 or above, or 4.0 or a 3.5 and above, that's the only, that's the criteria that you have to do. And non-merit ones are basically everything else. So it can be anything from having brown eyes, like I mentioned, to, you know, being left-handed, to liking dogs. You know, there's all kinds of scholarships out there. So that's kind of the difference between merit and non-merit.
Okay. And then can you go into a little more detail about the selective service requirement? Just kind of clarify for us what male students need to do.
So all male students need to go ahead and register for selective service. Selective service is basically if a draft happens, you would be selected to go and fight. However, this hasn't happened in many, many years, and we don't see it happening. You know, no matter what you hear on the news, we don't see it happening anytime soon. It is a state requirement. It's actually a requirement for anybody, whether you are, whether you want financial aid or not. However, if you're applying for financial aid, we actually have to check on that. So that's kind of one of the caveats that you have to do.
And then is there any specific things that students who are applying through the California DREAM Act to do for the selective service? Is it automatically through the California DREAM Act that they can apply for or submit their application for selective service?
So you can go ahead. It asks you a question. It asks you, are you registered for selective service? And you can either answer yes or no. If you answer no, you have an option of clicking on register for me, and they'll go ahead and automatically register you. And if you select yes, obviously, if you get selected for verification, we go ahead and check on that. It's a 50-50% of getting selected for verification. We don't control that. Nobody really, it's kind of a chance. So, you know, sometimes it may be the honor system, but again, sooner or later you might be asked for it. So if you don't want to bother with it, it's always easy to check, register me, and they'll go ahead and do that for you.
Okay. And I don't see any questions from our students who are here. So I think we can jump into the next slide. But students, if you do think of anything else, we're going to stay here for a few more minutes while I talk. You can think about your questions and submit those in the chat. But for now, I want to move along, if that's okay with you, Violetta.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So I think this is from you, Violetta.
Yeah, this one is basically about DREAM Act. So, you know, that kind of gives you the website, and this is if you guys have any questions. So we're going to go ahead and skip this one.
Thank you. So this is from me, CSD students that are here with us. I wanted to invite you all to come and join us for another workshop on financial aid. During this workshop on Wednesday, December 9th, so this is, you know, still it's a month in advance, or about more than a month in advance. I'm letting you know. We do have this workshop, and during this workshop, we're going to specifically be offering support with your application. So today was just about learning. It was just about getting information and absorbing that. But during this workshop, we can answer specific questions about your application. We can provide support with your application. So please join us for this. You'll have to register, and it is going to be online via Zoom. So unfortunately, we're still not doing events in person, but we still want to provide you with support and answer any questions or concerns that you may come up as you're working through your application. As Violetta mentioned, this application opened on October 1st. You can start working on it now if you haven't already. But you can join us during this this workshop, Cash for College. We will have support in English and Spanish. So check that out. Please visit our website, or you can use your phone and scan that QR code now. But I am also going to be sharing in a little bit this whole presentation. So you'll have the presentation with you, and you can save it on your own device. So that's it on so if you don't have any other questions, I think we can move along and just come to the end of our presentation. I want to thank all of you for joining us, especially our speaker, our presenter for today, Violetta. It was really lovely to have you, and thank you for sharing your knowledge and all the resources that you have to offer at Saddleback as well. That's our really trusted, and we partner with Saddleback a lot. It's our local community college. So students, please submit, take out your phone and scan this QR code so that you can give us some feedback about how we did about this event. And also, if you want to connect with Violetta or any other reps that you might have seen throughout this whole college fair since Monday, please complete that survey. If all the presentations, including this one from the college fair, will be posted on our website. So if you want to come back and refer to the information that was shared today, you can go and view that there. Other than that, I think that is it. We'll stick around for another minute just in case you have any other questions. But if not, have a good night and connect with us. I am going to put my email. Remember, I am a CUSD college and career counselor, so I am a resource for you. So connect with me if you do have any other questions. Like I said, I'm going to put my email on the chat if you have any additional questions. So we'll stick around for another minute. Thank you, Violetta. I think you're muted.
Oops. I said thank you for having me, and thank you everyone for attending.
Okay, I don't think we have any questions. So have a good night, Violetta. Have a good night, everybody. And thank you all. That's pretty much it. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.